Once upon a time, a miller passed away, leaving his 3 sons with little inheritance. The eldest received the mill, the second got the donkey, and the youngest was left with just a cat. Resigned to his fate, the youngest son thought he was doomed to starve. However, the cat, who went by the name Puss, revealed he was no ordinary feline. Puss stood on his hind legs, donned a pair of boots, and promised to make his master's fortune. The youth was skeptical, but he agreed to provide Puss with a sack and some boots. Puss set off into the forest, using cunning and trickery to catch game, which he then presented to the king as gifts from his master, the Marquis of Carabas. Through these generous offerings, Puss gained the king's favor. One day, Puss learned that the king and his daughter were planning a carriage ride by the river. Seizing the opportunity, Puss instructed his master to bathe in the river, then hurried to the king's coach, claiming that robbers had stolen his master's clothes. The king offered fine garments to the supposed Marquis of Carabas and invited him into the coach. As they traveled, Puss ran ahead to the lands they passed through, warning the peasants to tell the king the fields belonged to the Marquis of Carabas, lest they face the ogre's wrath. The peasants complied. Finally, Puss arrived at a grand castle owned by a fearsome ogre. Using his wit, Puss tricked the ogre into transforming into a mouse, which he swiftly devoured. With the king impressed by his master's vast lands and grand castle, he proposed his daughter to the Marquis of Carabas. The youngest son agreed, and they were married, living happily ever after in the ogre's castle, with Puss as a